Republican-controlled Senate to basically veto the Strickland appointees to all the boards and commissions, or just the Casino Commission? Or
look, I think that Senator Harris has made it pretty clear on those major positions. I ought to have a chance to appoint my people, and I don't want to get into the details of what all those would be, but there are some that are very important for me to carry out my responsibility, and I think Senator Harris is doing this in a very good way.
Governor-elect, as you started to look at the books after the election, is it what you expected?
We still don't have the books. I don't think they've still finished their revenue estimates from what, the last time I talked about this was a week ago, and we still don't know quite where we are. So,
is your thinking it could be worse than you expected?
I don't want to comment on it because we don't have the numbers. I mean, it's pretty amazing we don't, but look, our people have been meeting with them. I don't know when the last meeting is. It's a question I'd have to get the answer from Wayne Struble. Maybe Rob could follow up on this, but I don't think the numbers are done yet.
Is there any particular action you'd like to see state lawmakers make during the lame duck session, or would you rather they hold off until your inauguration and set the agenda then?
Well, you've got a Democrat House, a Republican Senate, and a Democrat governor, so what I think about this is really not that important right now. Sorry.
What's the prospect early in your administration of executive order to allow video slots at trials?
As I've said, we have to just work through the process here. You
haven't focused on that.
Well, I'm beginning to focus on it, and there are still some decisions that have to be made from a legal perspective, but it's clearly gambling, with the casinos and what ultimately happened at the racetracks. These are big issues for the state, and I think I should leave it right there at this point and not say much more.
What were you going to say? What were you about to say before you?
I was about to say I'm really glad you came to Newark. Thanks for being here.
One more question, guys. You mentioned partially or privatizing some functions within.
Look, I will just say this. I don't think the state is getting its fair share from these casinos. Okay, now it's complicated in terms of what the tax rate is, but frankly, as I look at this, there's got to be a way for the state to benefit more from these casinos, and we just have to figure out what we do about that. Okay, I would just tell you that as to how this goes or where this goes, it's just too early for me to make a comment more than that. But look, I think everybody's concerned. Did the state get its share? I was in an editorial board at the Dispatch, and they asked this question. You were in there, and my opinion hasn't changed, but I just don't want to say X is going to happen if I can't make something happen. But I'm beginning to put a team together to think all this through. There's been some discussions already, but not enough for me to be on solid enough ground to go beyond what I've just said.
But wouldn't it require a change in the Constitution?
I just don't want to go any farther than that.
You mentioned privatizing some functions within ODOT. Do you have some ideas about what that means? Could that include the turnpike, for example?
Well, look, I've always said that everything is on the table here. The problem you have now are even if we wanted to do that, you have to check capital markets to find out. First of all, you wouldn't necessarily want to privatize. You might want to lease, but what are you going to get for it? I mean, but we look at everything. Everything is being examined, but it's not actually a good time, from what I can tell, to be able to, if you wanted to do it, what you're going to get. But this whole turnpike is an operation that clearly needs to be given a very hard look. I've had people buzzing around me about this, okay? It's just one of another series of things that we look at.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
God, it used to be so hard.